Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and this is
Logan Garibay.
And today we're going to talk about the 2020 Donald Trump versus Joe Biden presidential general election debate number 1 with Chris Wallace as moderator. Let's get right into it. Who won the debate? Oh, wait. You know what? Before we do that, we should probably give our biases. Okay. All right, who we were rooting for, where we stand on these candidates. Let's do that first. Okay. Go ahead.
So, I mostly lean for Biden, but I don't agree on him with everything. But I lean more on Biden than Trump.
All right. I want to be super clear. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I have absolutely no intentions of voting for Trump in 2020. I do not stand for Donald Trump. I do not support Donald Trump. I do not like that he is currently the president. However, here's the issue. I have to say, when it comes to Biden, I have grown a strong detest for the man. And the reason why is I got super excited for Andrew Yang. I 100% support Andrew Yang. And I followed this election all the way through. And when I saw people like Tulsi Gabbard, when I saw people like Andrew Yang, when I saw people like Julian Castro just going forward, and when I saw the array of people that were across gender, across orientation, across heritage, and then the Democrat Party said we're going to have another old white man. I was deeply upset, and I am incredibly frustrated with that decision. So frustrated that I really am growing in a desire to see Biden lose. And also I don't think Biden has. He will be an experiment. He'll be the oldest president to ever. He'll be older when he starts than the oldest president was when they finished. I'm not up for experimenting with the presidency. So I really don't have a dog in this fight. I'm going to do a write-in for Andrew Yang. That's my stance. Okay. With that said, who do you think won?
I know you're going to get something on me, but I don't think there was a clear winner. Both of them had points that... Both of them had a lot of correct points, and both of them had a lot of very stupid points. I would say that Biden, some of his points were just so dumb. And then, like, half of Trump's points, I could argue, were even dumber. But I don't think this was a good debate, in my opinion. It really didn't show any... It didn't really go that well, and I don't think either of them truly won. It was just kind of them kicking each other in the foot and both of them saying ow.
So you think there was no clear winner?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think Biden was absolutely destroyed by Trump tonight. And the reason why is I think overall, Trump proved he's a fighter, and that he will fight for a very narrow band of Republicans who are the right heritage and who he approves of, and he will fight for them. Tonight, I think it was incredibly clear that Biden is not capable of fighting for anyone or anything. And the reason why I'm saying that is he wouldn't even look Trump in the eye, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so frustrated with this." Well, if this debate is hard, guess what? The job's 1,000 times harder, right? If you have trouble pushing off Donald Trump, you're going to have to deal with some real dictators who like starve their people, right? Like Trump is a lightweight compared to the world leaders that you're going to have to go against. And I really felt like Joe Biden just did not. He proved he wasn't a fighter, and Trump is a fighter. He won't fight for everybody, and if you don't match the heritage he likes, if you don't match a whole checklist of stuff, he won't fight for you. But he will fight for some people, and he has delivered for them. And so I think Trump really dominated Chris Wallace and dominated Joe Biden, and accurately pointed out that the Democrats will also dominate Joe Biden. And I think it's an open secret that Joe Biden's not going to be leading anyone. He's just going to be, what do I do next? So that's my take. Well,
So, let's just talk about the debate, not even about the subjects, what happened, like, what about the qualities or whatever. So the questions were some of them were not that good. Some of them were just really bad questions. They weren't.
You want me to give a list of the questions they asked real quick?
Go ahead. Later, but I have some other stuff.
Yeah. Hit it.
So both of them interrupted a bit, but Trump interrupted a lot more, and Chris Wallace, yeah, that's his name. He specifically told that this is a non-interrupted thing, and then a non-interrupted question or whatever, and then Trump interrupted. He said, "Do not interrupt," and then he interrupted on Chris Wallace telling him not to interrupt.
I 100% co-sign.
Like
Trump
he
was a
broke.
jerk. He interrupted.
He literally broke
constantly.
the rules, and then broke the rules again after someone told him, "Don't break the rules." And I'm like, if you're not gonna play fair, then I'm not gonna take your points correctly. And
Trump was boorish and rude.
Yeah, and
totally agree.
And I looked it up. You might say, well, Chris was biased for Biden. He's actually right. He's on Fox. Am I right? I believe. Yeah, he was on.
Chris
Fox.
Wallace is a Fox News anchor. He is incredibly liberal, nonetheless, which is really strange. You're right.
He's still Fox though. But
that doesn't mean much. Chris Wallace came from a much older time. Mm-hmm. Chris Wallace never started on Fox. He's an old liberal who they hired onto Fox.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, but he's still on Fox. Whatever.
He is. Yeah, he's a Fox News anchor. You're 100%. He's coming from a conservative news source.
Yeah.
Point to you. 100%.
But yeah.
So let me ask you a few questions. So, you know what? And I want to your point, right? Where I honestly think Biden got destroyed, but I want to give Biden credit where credit is due. He had courage. He showed up and he debated Trump. A lot of people. There was like hundreds of articles saying that he shouldn't debate Trump or he should drop out. He showed up and he took his licks. I got respect for that, right? I have 100 times more respect for somebody who shows up to a fight and gets pummeled than somebody who doesn't show up. Biden showed up, and he stood up the whole time. He didn't bleed from his eye conjunctively like he's done previously. He showed that he's capable of getting through a debate, and he showed courage in even standing up and being there with Trump. I have a question. Last week, Joe Rogan said that he believes it's an open secret across the entire Democrat power base, that Joe Biden is in cognitive decline, and Joe Biden said that he thinks there's almost like a cult, church-like compression of that information, and like people aren't allowed to talk about the fact that Biden is in cognitive decline.
You said Joe Biden. Did you mean Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan said this about Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Do you think that Joe Biden showed that he was cognitively stable, or do you think there were some signs that he is in cognitive decline?
So, he did stutter at points. That does not mean he has dementia. For any of those people who are saying, "Oh, he stuttered like 3 times," that means he's like mentally unstable and he has dementia. He's gonna kill himself 2 days later. No, that's complete bogus. I think that those people are saying the mental decline, they do have some right to say he's getting really old. But I think that calling him demential after like him stuttering, I think he's stuttered like 8 times maybe.
Well, no one is saying he has dementia. They're saying he's going into cognitive decline. Do you feel there were any that he showed tonight that he is cognitively stable, or that there might be some evidence that he is going into cognitive decline? What do you think?
I think, well, I believe anyone would go through some sort of
cognitive decline when you get older.
Decline at that age.
Yeah.
So yes, I believe so, but not to the extent where people are saying he's incapable.
And you also think tonight he was able to communicate. He wasn't hard to understand.
And so so there were like some stutters, but
I agree.
He got through
the reality is, a lot of people, there are many journalists who it's an open question right now if he's in cognitive decline.
And maybe he said like 200 million, but then he said 200,000.
Well, that's my point. Is the reality
he corrected himself. He didn't go through it and then just be wrong like Trump. He actually tried to correct himself.
And I agree. But I think tonight he showed signs that he can communicate, he can be understood. And the reality is, if people were waiting for Joe Biden to fall apart, he did not. He did not fall apart and splay out his communication. Were there any lines that you felt Biden said that were particularly strong? Biden or Trump?
Interesting or strong?
Strong or interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So, one thing from Biden was that he said, show up to the polls or show up to vote.
Yes, that was very surprising.
That was very interesting.
He even went even further. He's like, vote in person. Biden said vote in person. I was shocked to hear that. Yeah. That was very surprising. I totally agree.
another thing that was interesting is that he was against defunding the police, and he said there should be more funding.
Quite shocking.
Very interesting.
Totally shocking. Totally agree.
A lot of
Joe Biden said, I am opposed to defunding the police. That was very surprising.
So a lot of people were saying we need to take funding from police because they're too present in our communities.
Yeah.
And Biden said, from Biden's logic, he said we're not putting enough, and we need more resources to teach these people how to do their jobs.
Yeah.
And how to change up the system or whatever. That was his point. A lot of people want to disestablish or unestablish or try to wreck it down a little bit so that there's less regulation or whatever. I think that's, and put it in other places. But Biden wanted to actually put it in there and have it or have more learning and things like that. Sorry, I blanked there for a bit.
No,
But,
no worries. So I was surprised by a few things. It's a great point. What surprised us, right? I couldn't believe how aggressive Trump was.
Yeah.
We all knew he was going to come out of
I already knew he was going to be that aggressive.
I thought he was even... Oh, so it didn't... His level of aggression did not surprise you?
No.
I was surprised. The way he said... The things he accused China of were very surprising and very strong. Very bold statements. And...
Oh,
he accused China of being responsible for COVID.
He already said that earlier.
He absolutely did. You're right.
Yeah.
But he's doubling down on it now. Mm-hmm. And that was surprising that he was willing to say that in a national debate, because that's going to make our relationship with them incredibly difficult. But I think that ship has sailed. You know, that's one of the things that is there. He went right at Joe Biden's son, Hunter. Mm-hmm. I mean, he accused him of awful things. And so,
I think it was crack addict.
No. He said he used. I couldn't believe it. He said he was dishonorably discharged, and then accused him directly of using illegal substances.
Yeah.
Which is, you just said it right in the debate, and I was like, holy cows, that is a very personal attack. So I knew that Trump was going to come out of the gate, but his aggression was even higher, right? So I was just really surprised and shocked. Overall, I think both of us are frustrated in that they really said very little new. Mm-hmm. They just kind of increased the intensity and turned the dials up or turned the dials down. And, and overall it's the same kind of terrible questions and them repeating talking points that they've said 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. Overall, did this make you... If you were able to vote, which is a few years from now, would Biden's performance tonight have encouraged or discouraged you for voting for him?
I would say it would. I don't think it would encourage me, but I don't think it would discourage me enough to not vote for him.
So you would vote for him?
I would still vote for him. But
and it would be a wash. It wouldn't
really affect anything.
So here's a question. So there's millions of people who are able to vote. Mm-hmm. Do you think Biden helped himself at all tonight?
Not really, to be honest.
Yeah. Here's a question. Do you think Trump helped himself tonight? Do you think he gained votes tonight?
I can't say both of them didn't get votes.
You can say that. You could say this is a wash. This whole thing was theater. It was nothing, and it's not gonna matter in the long run. You can absolutely say that if you want to.
I'm gonna say this. I was looking forward to this. This was so boring. Like, it was really bad in my opinion.
Yeah, totally agree.
Nothing really was that interesting, and it did not have that much depth. I just wasn't paying attention. But they just repeat the stuff they've repeated in other stuff, and they didn't bring up new stuff, and then it's just Trump with like non-based allegations. Joe Biden did the same thing. It's just the same thing that's repeated for the whole 4 years. But
it's frustrating. It is.
This was not a good debate,
and I think we're all frustrated. We really are all genuinely just frustrated with. We look at it and it's like, is this our choices? And I think everybody is just like hanging their heads. It's sour sauce all around, and it is, and we are really at a bad point in our democracy. Totally agree. And I'm gonna give you the last word. Any other thoughts on the debate overall, or anything that you want our viewers to know?
Not really. I think that we should we should look at this and we should take in accountability, but it's not really. This debate didn't affect anything. I think it was just echoes from the past like 3 months.
Totally.
Nothing was really that interesting. Honestly, I expected Trump to be more ruthless, to be honest. But you know.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
This is where we're at. We're praying for you all out there. We were highly discouraged that with, the array of people that ran, that this is where we're currently at. We are really hoping that you guys are able to get through these difficult times. It was a chore just watching these two echo points that they've made, before. But that's our take on what happened tonight. We'd love to hear what you think. Let us know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.